everyone, welcome back to Drawn by Annie channel. This is me, Annie, and I will be drawing for you today. Grab your tea, coffee and snacks and let's dive into today's video. Today I'm going to color one of my favorite sketches in this little sketchbook that I'm using right now. Also, the character is related to the previous video. It's Violetta from Shadowrun, and she is a fiance of my character whose name is Anne. So in my previous videos, I mentioned that Anne and Violetta actually originate from a cyberpunk setting, which is named Shadowrun. I used to play this tabletop roleplay game with my friends like a few years ago, but the characters are still living in my head because of how many adventures and how many nice roleplay gaming sessions I had with my friends. So up until this day, I am coming back to their love story, and I kind of am in the phase that I want to come back to these nice memories and draw a few more arts for them, because back then I didn't draw them together as much. So yeah, here I am making an art for Violetta this time. Last time it was Anne and Violetta together in a nice alcohol-based marker coloring, but today I'm going to color my drawing with a few acrylic paint pens and my favorite part, line work, with my black fine liners and black brush pens. I specifically drew this portrait in very contrast vibe. It looks very controversial to what is actually on the back page of this very drawing, which is the previous one that looks so bright and so lovely, where the couple is looking into each other's eyes, you know, with all the love that they feel towards each other. But turning the page, you can see what Violetta really is like, because yeah, she is a very interesting character in terms of what archetype she is. Most of people would consider Violetta as a villain character, but no matter what, she still has some good in her because of how she's treating her fiance Anne. I think that's very contrast, and I wanted to show this contrast with the colors and the vibes, with how most of the strangers see her, especially if they piss her off. But like her family and her friends or people that are dear to her would probably never be on this side or like see this side of her unless they betray her or are not loyal or do something intentionally to hurt her or her dearest ones. So yeah. If you come back to the video where I colored Anne and Anne's close up, you can clearly see like a concern in his eyes. The way he looks at the viewer is kindness in his look, or like concern or worry in a good way, you know. But in Violetta's eyes, you will not see even a glimpse of empathy. She's like looking straight into your soul and creeps you out with just her purple eyes. Oh yeah, spoiler, I'm gonna color her eyes purple. But given the details about their background and the work field they are at, that is like a shadow running or basically a criminal work, she needs to have a reputation that serves her, so she clearly uses her skills to keep that reputation running. So like it's way better and easier to manipulate people around you when they're scared of you, because in criminal world, for some reason, showing kindness is often counted as being weak, which is not true obviously, but there's this stereotype, so I guess that's what she has to adapt to herself. If you're faking something for so long, you kind of start to become this thing you're faking, because you know this saying, fake it till you make it. It can work for you and it can also work against you. So for some reason I believe that Violetta is a kind person because of the way she treats her family, but given the work and circumstances that she had to go through, actually made her into this villain type of character, because she needed to survive. It's a harsh world in the Shadowrun setting. All the mega corporations and, you know, everyone is trying to use you, and something like friendship and decency and dignity and honesty is very rare to meet. So yeah, I guess that's what she fell for in Anne, because that's what he is. He's very honest and loyal, and even though he has made a few big mistakes in his past, she still, you know, kind of accepted him, with all that he has and everything that he has done. Oftentimes that's what we are all lacking, just for an acceptance. Their love and their relationship is just one big controversial thing. Like they're so different from each other and yet they end up being together and falling in love. And I think that's the most beautiful thing that I have experienced in tabletop roleplay gaming, and that's why it caught my soul into this trap. And I cannot get over it, because sometimes I'm simping over fictional characters a little bit too much, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm the only one guilty, but yeah, let me know in the comments who is your favorite couple of all times. It can be an existing ship or something that you would wish that they had in a canon, something like anime or movie or TV series, or it could be simply your own OCs as well, as I am having here. So yeah, share your stories. I would love to read them. There's also a reason why I started thinking to draw this exact portrait on this page of my sketchbook. I specifically wanted it to be on the other side, but since I colored the previous illustration of mine with alcohol-based markers, you know, they are bleeding a lot to the extent that it can affect the next page, like not only the same page on the other side, but also the next page underneath. So unless you're using some protection layer on extra paper, it can take up a lot of paper because of the ink that goes through. So basically what I did here, I used an extra paper last time that I was drawing the previous drawing. Then I just, that saved the next page from bleeding, but the other side of the same page is still very much affected. I could barely have any free space to use on that page. So the thing is, if you use acrylic paint pens to cover this part of the page, you can actually draw on top of it with same type of materials or fine liners, because if they are drying, it's basically like having a whole new page with just different color. The only difficulty that could occur is if you're drawing something with dark colors and they're obviously gonna bleed through the same colors, you cannot cover it with light acrylic paint because it's gonna be transparent. Like, it's opaque, but light colors, they cannot cover darker colors, even if it's an alcohol-based marker. Like, even here you can see me using some of the same colored acrylic paint pen over on her hair, but you can clearly see where it has been dark, where under the acrylic paint pen there is dark spots, and where I haven't landed any black color. Keep that in mind. So basically my idea was to cover the bled through ink from alcohol painting and then make a new drawing on top of it with much contrast colors. But I am not really well trained with acrylics just yet, so I just practice right now, and I'm using limited color palette, not only to have a certain vibe or like an atmosphere like I have the intention to do here, but also because limited palette also gives me slightly different line of thought, because I have to think creatively to solve problems, kind of thing. Having only 3 colors at hand, which is red, black, and purple, gives me an opportunity to give more details and accents than I would have if I had like a full color palette or full colored drawing. So I did exactly what I wanted. I'm very much in love with this result, to be honest, and I think that I will be drawing more arts like this in the future, because I feel like I wanted to have a print like that on my t-shirt or on my hoodie. I never had any nice printed anything, because it usually looks, it's not really expressing me. It doesn't look genuine, or I don't know how to explain this, but like I would very much rather to paint a shirt for myself than to buy a printed one, because the prints are just so boring and they don't feel genuine to me. So yeah, maybe in the future I will try painting something on the shirt or like a piece of cloth. I've been using mostly paper for my works, and I did a few sketchbook paints as well. Like I drew on a sketchbook cover just to make it a little more fun and customized to myself, but that's pretty much it, other than paper, canvas, or covers. I haven't drawn anywhere else, but I feel like it would be much fun to do so. Also, alcohol-based markers are not very much compatible with most of the materials, so you can only kind of use them on paper. I also tried using them on canvas, but it's a bit different. Like, you have to really use a lot of the marker ink for it to have the color brightness that actually serves the purpose, kind of thing. Even though I was drawing with alcohol-based markers for so long, I still have a lot to learn. I kind of wanted to look more professional and more feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I feel my drawings feel a little bit flat and I want them to have more volume, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do that with alcohol-based markers. But also because I was drawing with them for so long, I kind of got a little bored with them, so that's why I decided to try acrylic paint pens, and that's like a whole new world. I need to try and learn and see more tips and tricks, and maybe try out some tutorials and try experimenting more in my sketchbooks. So maybe I will try to showcase my learning process with you, even though it feels a little bit embarrassing. You know, oh, everybody wants to be perfect on social media, but with artistry is not the case, because in order to become the perfect artist, you need to be failing a lot. And I have a lot of failed drawings. Like, oftentimes I feel my line art were so much better than the finished drawing with colors. I'm like, hey, I ruined it. What should I do now? But yeah, you kind of have to accept it. And that's when I started to scan my works, or like make some pictures before I actually land colors, so I can still have some backup copy for myself or for later use, or I can print it out on a new piece of paper so I can try and recolor it. Also, like a little trick here. Artistry is a very hard thing, very much time consuming and effort consuming. So if you decided to become an artist, don't give up. You need to be very vigilant. You need to be very courageous to not give up this journey, but also enjoy the whole process. Even if the result is a fail, it's still a lesson you had to go through in order to reach for the result that you aim for. I hope you guys will succeed in your journey, and I also hope the same for myself. I want to practice more to reach to the professionalism. But I still want to keep my child, or like my playfulness, because without it I don't feel me. I'm not gonna be this serious artist that's like, oh, you can only do this or you cannot do that. No, I will be the one to encourage you to do whatever you like, and to experiment and have fun and just enjoy the process. You magic. And like, be intentional on what you do. If you want to learn X, you need to do XYZ. So in order to become good at alcohol-based markers, I had to draw millions of sketches and drawings and little doodles and try to layer them one way or the other, and like color and color and color and practice. Yeah, that's the only thing that you must be consistent with, is come back to the same thing over and over again. But also, you cannot be doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So you have to have a balance to keep the consistency of coming back and forming a habit of practice, but also implement something new each time, because that's what helps me to grow. Even though I have like a certain goal I want to reach, there is something that must be consistent, and also something that must be new every time. So my consistent things are coming back to drawing, having the same material in mind, but also looking for different techniques. So technique is different every time. So it's either you can switch up layering order, or you can try different color palette, or you can try looking at other artists' videos and how they do it, try to repeat it yourself. You could very much try and mix up mediums in between each other. So try mixing up markers and paints, or markers and pencils, or whatever medium you enjoy, or try out different paper, or not a paper at all. Like, you can try drawing on any other surface, wood, rock, brick, I don't know, whatever. But just never stop experimenting. That's the biggest thing and the biggest mistake people do. They just fall into the trap of comfort zone and they never come out of it. so they just stop growing whatsoever. Their style never changes and they don't bring anything new to this world. But like, that's also okay, I guess. Some people can get away with that and they are very much happy with this thing, but that's not me. I want to be growing all the time, and I hope I will be growing till the end of my days. You need to give some time to certain things to be good at them, but also just don't fall into the comfort zone trap. I guess that's the biggest mistake. And thanks for listening to my rambling. Blah, blah, blah. I hope it was entertaining enough. Here is my finished drawing. Thank you very much for watching, and leave your comments and likes and subscriptions. And if you want to see more of my work, consider supporting me. I appreciate every comment and like, and I'm trying to interact with you as much as I can. So yeah, I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.